Hello, so I'm here with my noisy cat, and I'm just going to do a reading update for February and March. Mostly just been reading library books. I have a few of my own books I've been reading, like the sequel to Bloodleaf and Jane Eyre I'm rereading, but I'm taking my time with those. Um, I did finish reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. He's the guy that wrote The Martian. I thought it was a really good book, 5 out of 5. It was different enough from The Martian that it didn't feel like the same thing over again. So I really like that. I also tried to read Homegoing by Yaz Gyasi or whatever, and unfortunately that one I couldn't get into. My problem with it is that each chapter was a new character, and it was usually like, the son or daughter of the person in the previous chapter, which is okay, right? I mean, it's supposed to span like 100 years or whatever, but because of that, I didn't really want to get invested in the character because I didn't think I'd see them again. So I read about 4 or 5 chapters, and then I was like, yeah, this is like, I'm forcing myself to pick up this book, so I just stopped picking it up. Then I read Turtle in Paradise. It's a graphic novel, and that was really cute. I saw it on Sue's channel, and I think for books I've read, that's as far as I've gotten, except for the one I finished last night. So, I read These Silent Woods by Kimi Cunningham Grant. Oh, I got major glare. Oh well. But it's a thriller, but it's a slow one. This one, I wasn't sure if I give it 3 stars, 4 stars. It's about this dad that lives in a cabin in the woods with his daughter. He took her there when she was like an infant, and now she's like 8 years old, and they're hiding from civilization because he did something bad. So you're like, well, what did he do, right? So that's why you keep reading. And they have a creepy neighbor named Scotland. He's just kind of like shows up. He's kind of annoying, but what can you do, right? If you're hiding from everybody, at least he's keeping your existence secret. And but obviously they can't hide forever. People do travel, on the land and things like that. And so it's about basically finding out the dad's history. What what did he do? That was so bad. Sorry, she's gonna scratch the chair. She's being active. And yeah, I just thought it was okay book. Not nothing great, nothing. It wasn't bad. It wasn't awesome. I don't see the hype behind it, but am I glad I read it? Well, it was okay. Yeah, it wasn't a total waste of time. And let's see here. I saw it on Dee Dee's channel. This She's in Paris, so she reads a lot of French books. This one's translated, but it's called Germinal by Emile Zola, I think. Now I wanted to pick this one up because she mentioned the writing was really descriptive. Like she really felt like she was there, wow, wow, wow. So I was like, okay. A lot of the times when she really likes a book, I really like it too. One example that comes to mind is Cutting for Stone. That one and Jam on the Vine. Those two were highly recommended by her, and I read them and I loved it. They're not genres I would normally go for, so likewise, this is about some guy that gets a job in a mine. It doesn't really sound exciting to me, but I trust her, so I'll give it a shot. I also took out some DVDs. We got Wild Way of the Vikings and Lost Viking Army. This is just what they had in the documentary section. And then a Globe Trekker for Germany. So they're just short, like hour-long things, so it's like good to watch after work. Now I also got a big stack of books that I've been kind of lightly browsing through, and yeah, I might as well kind of tell you about them as well. They're all nonfiction books. So this one is Natural Remedies for Women's Health. Heal Yourself with 100 Herbal Recipes for Every Phase of Life by Fern Green. I really like this book. The only thing I don't like about it is that the ingredients are hard to come by in my area. but the layout is fantastic. So most of these are going to be like women's health, the issues I have, right? So related to that and arthritis, and I have diabetes in my family. I'm not diabetic, but I feel like if I'm not careful, it will become a thing. So you'll see one of those in there. But the way this book is laid out is on one side it has the title of the recipe, the ingredients in picture format, and then what it looks like all put together. But it's not all just teas. Of course, now I'm flipping through. Okay, there's like a lavender salt bath, right? There's some tinctures and capsules in here too. Let's just find an example. Here's a tincture, right? I was mostly drawn to the teas because that's the easiest way to prepare things. But even, like on page 20, this is an anxiety and stress section. There's a morning pick-me-up tea. This one has dried ginkgo leaf, chicory root powder, maca root powder, licorice root powder, and dried gotu kola leaf. I can't get any of those in my town. Some of these I can. Like for this bedtime tea, it has dried hops. Probably not. Dried hawthorn? No. Skullcap? Yes, I can get that. And chamomile I can get. Right? So there's some things I can get, some things I can't get. So I think this book, it looks like a really good book, but it's not the book for me because I can't get the ingredients here. If it was stuff I could actually use, it would be an awesome read. Then I haven't really read this one yet. It's Beating Endo, How to Reclaim Your Life from Endometriosis by Iris Karen Orbuck and Amy Stein. As this endometriosis thing I've been dealing with my whole freaking life. It gets better and then it gets worse, and it got better for a while and now it's starting to get worse again. So I'm like, oh, okay, gotta try something new. So I haven't really looked through that one yet. The other one I have is Women's Herbs, Women's Health by Christopher Hobbs and Kathy Kevill. This is just kind of a catch-all thing. So you look up basically the chapter on your ailment, and it's quite a few different ones. There's 16, and some of the topics in here are like osteoporosis, heart disease, PMS, of course, endometriosis, menopause, mood disorders even, so like depression, anxiety. So I just skipped to the part on endo and I read that part, and it was good info, nothing new. But I am still going to leaf through and see what the rest of the book has, because why not? Then I got the Diabetes Prevention and Management Cookbook by Joanna Burkan and Barbara Allen. This just gives a, kind of a diabetes 101, like what is it? And with diabetics, they have to not only take account of their sugar, but their carbs. So how many carbs do you have? In the very middle, there's some pictures, excuse me, full color pictures, which is kind of nice. Those chicken strips look good if they're chicken. Yeah, Parmesan chicken strips. So, it's pretty good, right? We can always use a few more recipe inspiration. And then the second half of the book here is all recipes. And what they have on these recipes is the list of what you need and the instructions, obviously. How many servings? They have like a tip. So this page I'm on is for this curried squash and apple soup. So they give you a tip on how to buy cheap squash, like what time of year. And then at the bottom they have the nutrition info, but I don't know if you can see this. At the very bottom they have food choices. So like one serving of this, which they say is a cup of soup, is half a carb and half a fat. So they go in detail earlier in the book on what is half a fat or whatever. So it's just another way of counting things, which I'm not really into, but if I can get some healthier recipes, that would be nice. We do try, but we junk out way too much. And on the same vein of recipes, I got a Pioneer Women Cookbook. Come and get it. This one has a lot of really good looking things. She has a lot of stories, and I noticed that there's a lot of dog pictures. So The way this book is laid out is kind of similar to that Instant Pot book I have, Step by Step, where there's a picture for each step. You can kind of see there, which does make it easy if you don't know what you're doing. There's also little bits here and there from her own life, about her kids and her husband, and lots of dogs. They're just everywhere. I got some good ideas in here for lunches. So that was good. But a lot of it was a little bit decadent for me, which I think it might be a little bit too much. But her categories here, so if you're interested, is breakfast, apps and snacks, lunches on the go, under 40, which means under 40 minutes. And similarly, there's one for under 20. Sensational sides, bread baby, take your time, sheep pan suppers, sweets, glorious sweets, and meatless marvels. So I was mostly interested in the slow cooker stuff, the meatless stuff, and lunch stuff, because I'm a busy girl. So that's why it's been a while since I made this video. But yeah, that's kind of my stack that I have right now. I don't think much else going on that I can think of. I've just been kind of slowing down a little bit with my reading. Oh yeah, there's one thing. My library had this contest. It's kind of like their version of Goodreads. And so I was like, oh, okay, I found out about it like the third week of January or something like that. And January was a really good reading month for me, so when I found out, I was able to plug in like 4 books right away. So I did that, and then of course, didn't do it again. Well, I got a call yesterday from the library, missed it. So I was like, oh, I tried to phone back, but it's like an island-wide branch, so I was like, whatever. If it's important, they'll call back. And I got an email, and they won a contest. So they said I could come in and grab an ARC. So I'll be doing that this weekend. No idea what the ARC is or anything, but still kind of nice to win something once in a while. I really like that. And also I have another one of these Pioneer Women books to pick up. I just, our library is very small, so what we do is we look at the catalog and request a book. And it's not just our library in town, it's all over the island. So if it's at another branch, then it takes, usually a week, and it gets trucked over. And then they put on a special shelf with your last name on it and give you an email saying your hold's ready to be picked up. So I don't know how libraries work anywhere else, but that's how our little ghetto one does it. And actually they're pretty good. The librarians are really fantastic. It's just a really small branch. So yeah, that's my short reading update, which is more like 13 minutes, but that's okay. I'm not going to edit this video. I'm just going to upload it and carry on with life. So yeah, let me know if you guys have read anything good lately. I was going to do full reviews on some of the books I read, but I just don't have the energy for it. And honestly, even though Project Hail Mary was a good book, it wasn't like life-changing or anything, so I don't feel like I have lots to gush about. But I am curious about what this one's going to be like, this Germinal. This one might surprise me, so hopefully for the best. So I hope you guys have a great week. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and talk again soon.